Hello, I'm Adam Teitelbaum, and welcome to this discussion about Parshat Toldot. As we're building the practice, I encourage you to read in the comments below and to say out loud the blessing to sanctify and elevate this moment of studying Torah. Also, today happens to be Thanksgiving in the United States, so happy Thanksgiving. Wishing everybody a wonderful, family-filled, love-filled, grateful holiday. Parshat Toldot has one of the stories that I think is one of the most heart-wrenching parts of these early Jewish Torah stories. And that is the story of Jacob deceiving his father and taking the blessing from his older brother Esau. There's a lot of commentary around this one and also a lot of depth to the story itself. I encourage you to read the whole thing. But this story, often told as Rebekah telling the younger son, Jacob, who in my mind growing up, I'd always seen as a meek sort of not really able to stand up for himself kind of a guy, to go and deceive their father, Isaac, the son of Abraham, the miraculous born son of Abraham, and to get the blessing away from his older brother, Esau, who's a skilled outdoorsman, hunter, somebody who sounds like a pretty scary guy. And it was last year that I was having a discussion with some friends around this Parsha, and the way in which we were talking about it, it actually clicked for me slightly differently. And so I want to offer a different reading of the story of taking the blessing from Esau. Spoiler alert, I'm going to use the HBO show Succession, season 2, season finale as the premise for this. I believe enough time has gone by, and so if you haven't seen it yet, that's on you, but spoiler alert, I'm going to say at the end of the season. So in my mind, for so many years, I thought, here's this moment where Jacob, a meek person, is coming in and very timidly trying to steal away the blessing from his older brother Esau, and Isaac, this blind old man who is maybe not able to have all of his senses around him, gets deceived. And so it seems like Rebekah, orchestrating all of this, has the weaker son steal from an older man who can't really help himself. But instead, I now think that this might be closer to the end of season 2 in Succession. And what I mean by that is, if you watch the show, you know that the Roy kids are all battling for control of the company, but the father, Logan Roy, is basically saying, none of you people are serious enough to actually take over the family business. I can't trust that you're going to do what is necessary to keep this business going along. And even Kendall, who's the oldest son, he's the oldest son for all intents and purposes. He wants the company. He believes he should be the next CEO, but Logan even tells him, I don't think you have the killer instinct. I don't think you're the one who's going to be able to run this multi-billion-dollar company. And at the end of season 2, Logan basically bullies Kendall into taking the fall for something terrible that happened in the company. And he's going to have Kendall go and publicly take ownership and then basically be ostracized, destroyed reputationally. And of course, they'll take care of him and write him a check to get him out of there. But nonetheless, he's going to be the one that becomes the fall guy. And there's this big crescendo buildup where Kendall goes to give a national press conference on TV, and on live TV, he stabs his dad in the back. He says, my dad can't be trusted, and we've got to take the company away from him. And in the room where the family's watching this happen, the other siblings are going, Dad, can you believe this? Oh my God, he's stabbing you in the back. He's dead to us. And it's at that moment that Logan Roy actually tells the other siblings to quiet down. He goes, shh, shh, shh. And you see this smirk come across his face. And it's that moment that Logan says, maybe Kendall does have the killer instinct. Okay, so there's a lot that doesn't translate over to Isaac and Jacob, but what I do think is a little bit of a different read here is that there's actually a moment where Isaac, when Jacob comes over to take the blessing, and he says it's the voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau, there is actually this very powerful moment taking place between Isaac and Jacob. And Isaac, who loves both of his sons in their own way, and he is not sure which is the son who's going to take on the family legacy. Who's going to be the son who takes Abraham's teachings and pushes them into the rest of the world? The G3 generation that's going to succeed in this family business. Maybe Isaac at that moment doesn't know. And he thinks for a certain reason it's going to be Esau because he's got more of a killer instinct, and it's not going to be Jacob because he's not strong enough. And so it's in this moment that Rebekah pushes Jacob out of his comfort zone, and together with his father, they have this moment where Isaac says, "Who are you?" And Jacob says, "I'm the one who should take on the family business." And Isaac says, "Do you know what you're doing?" And Jacob says, "Yeah, I do." And Isaac says, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" And Jacob, with a little bit more steel in his spine, says, "I do." And it's actually this moment that Jacob demonstrates to his father Isaac that he can be the one trusted to take on the responsibility of this covenant with Abraham, to be the continuation of the story of the Jewish people. I think it's a different read, and I like that read. I like the idea that there is a lesson here to be learned about the G2, G3 generational worry, the way in which Isaac takes so seriously the responsibility to pass on this legacy, and also the family dynamic piece here, which is, again, a father who so deeply loves both of his sons, even if he knows that only one of them is going to be the one to carry on the family legacy. And with that, I think that it's a slightly different take on the Parsha, and that is the story of Isaac. Shabbat Shalom.